This was actually posted on TU, the one that I've got in my hand. Let's see. It was posted on Saturday by a Washington State Desk Jet. And the headline, I'm sorry. Blair takes blame for Iraq war and admits conflict caused the rise of ISIS. It's from the Daily Mail, the United Kingdom daily newspaper. Tony Blair has finally said sorry for the Iraq war and admitted he could be partly to blame for the rise of Islamic State. The extraordinary confession by the former prime minister comes after 12 years in which he refused to apologize for the conflict. Blair makes his dramatic mea culpa during a TV interview about the hell, in quotes, caused by his and George Bush's decision to oust Saddam Hussein. This is an interview on CNN International and presumably CNN Domestic. I haven't seen it, but I've certainly read about it. And yeah, I mean, this is amazing. I mean, every time the Islamic State cuts somebody's head off, every time they murder somebody, every time they capture another village full of women to rape, every single one of those, the blood, the wounds, the injury, the trauma, the PTSD, this is all blood on the hands of George W. Bush and his administration and Tony Blair and those who enabled him. And it frankly never would have happened if George Herbert Walker Bush, George Bush the Elder, had not participated in a lie where the daughter of the Kuwaiti ambassador, the daughter of the ambassador from Kuwait, went before the United States Congress and lied about her name and her identity, and said that the Iraqi soldiers, when they invaded Kuwait, because Kuwait was, they said, stealing Iraqi oil. They were slant drilling under Iraq and sucking out the oil. And so Saddam Hussein asked April Gillespie, can I go after these guys? She said, we're not going to stop you. And so boom, Saddam Hussein's in Kuwait saying, we're taking your country back. Kuwait used to be part of Iraq. And George Herbert Walker Bush, knowing that this testimony, which had so inflamed Americans, was a lie, nonetheless used that to get us to kick Saddam Hussein out of Kuwait. And thus it began, because we had to build an Air Force base in Saudi Arabia in order to do that. So we built this Air Force base in Saudi Arabia. We filled it with soldiers from the United States, men and women from the United States. Women who were running around with their elbows showing and driving cars, which is illegal for women in Saudi Arabia. Men drinking alcohol and watching pornography, illegal in Saudi Arabia. Doing that on this Prince Sultan, whatever it is, Air Force base. And back in 1998, now this is after the first Gulf War, but that Air Force base was there as a result of the Gulf War. Osama bin Laden says to us, I am going to hit you if you don't empty that Air Force base of Americans, because they are committing blasphemy on holy soil. Saudi Arabia is the holy birthplace of Islam, and to have this happening on Saudi soil is blasphemous. And Bill Clinton and George W. Bush said, we don't care what you think. Until 2005. In 2005, George W. Bush said, okay, Osama bin Laden, we got it. He was unsuccessful in stopping Osama bin Laden from attacking us on 9/11 because he took his eye off the ball, because he didn't believe his own intelligence. Or maybe he did. Who knows? I don't want to get into all that. And here we are. Right? Here we are. And had George Herbert Walker Bush, oh, by the way, in 2005, George W. Bush closed that Air Force base, or pulled the Americans out of it. In other words, he gave in to bin Laden. And then, of course, came along came along President Obama, who killed Osama bin Laden. So, case closed, but whatever. Every single one of these cases, blood on the hands of Tony Blair and George W. Bush. Tony Blair became Catholic when he married his wife, converted to Catholicism. And, there's some evidence that he actually might believe this stuff. And maybe he's trying to clean his soul. Maybe he's trying to get ready to even up with his maker or something. I don't know. George W. Bush, on the other hand, is just doing paint by number paintings. It's really, really kind of sad.